Hello and welcome to Season 24 Major League Division 2 Match Day 8. I'm your host, Patrick, and I'm excited to bring you three great matches in this Division 2 Major League race. First off, we're going to jump right into it. CA Buenos Aires taking on Schwartzwalder FV. CA Buenos Aires 2-0-3 in their last five. Schwartzwalder 0-1-4 in their last five. I believe Schwartzwalder is still looking for their first win, if I'm not mistaken. They are sitting at the bottom of the standings, whereas CA Buenos Aires is sitting mid-table in fourth position. Schwartzwalder in their black and white, CA in their orange and black. CA steps into that, but Kilgannon comes down with it. Over to Clark. Up to Wang Zhao. Zhao. That is stepped into, and nothing comes of that. Sorry, kind of got distracted. My bad. And we're off. Goal kick for Satoshi. Satoshi sends it up. CA Buenos Aires down with it. Duck. Passes stop, but Duck still keeps it. Duck over to Santos. Or Santori. Santori running. That shot is blocked. Santori gets to it. Santori sends it into the box. Clark heads it out. Schwartzwalder with it. Madison up to Wang Zhao. Zhao over to Heikkinen. Heikkinen up to the top of the box for Summers. Power with it. Power shot is blocked by McManus. And it's going to be a Schwartzwalder corner. Xavier back to Wings. How that shot is, well, up top. Wang Zhao has actually scored 152 career goals. Block up to Wang Zhao, over to Heikkinen. Heikkinen with it over to Pizzoli. Back shot is well over top. Criminal. Over to Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson up to Rivers. Rivers back to Gunnarsson. Crosses field to Duck. Duck with it. Duck up. Duck shot is blocked. It's going to be a corner for Buenos Aires. Ruben over top of this. Ruben sends it in. Up to Santori. Santori over to O'Leary, and that shot is saved. Sean O'Leary sits at 99 career goals. Looking for their 100th. Over to Lorenzo. Summers with it. Up to Heikkinen. Heikkinen shot is over the bar. Goal kick for Buenos Aires. Schwartzwalder doing some quick attacks. Duck with the free kick. Over to McManus. Back to Lorenzo. Lorenzo over to Duck. Back over to McManus. Up. Santori finds Rubio. Ruben. Into the box. Sean O'Leary scores. Just a weird play, but Sean O'Leary scores, and that's going to be their 100th goal of their career. Ruben gets it. Ruben up the sideline, sends it in. Bounces off of Kilgannon, and O'Leary turns around and buries it. Just not a great touch from Kilgannon. 30th minute, Criminal throw-in. CA Buenos Aires up 1-0. Criminal with it. Over to Rivers. Rivers. Finds Scott. Scott. Over to Santori. Santori back to Criminal. Criminal running up the sideline. Criminal looking to cross it now. Criminal crosses it, and it's taken care of by Williams. Williams looking for an outlet now. Sends it deep. Power. Rivers gets to it. Rivers circles around over to Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson up to Rivers. Up to Santori. Santori over to Rubin. Rubin back to Stuck. And Sean O'Leary with their second. They're going to look at something. Was they offsides? It's a goal. Let's see this again. That was again. CA Buenos Aires scoring off of just quick. Rubin. Ball comes down to O'Leary, and honestly, it comes down to O'Leary because Santori was fouled in the box. Rubin, Scott with it. Scott circles over to Rivers. Rivers over to Scott. Criminal comes down with the block. Criminal shot is blocked. Duck has it now. Duck shot is blocked. Summers with it. McManus. McManus sends it in. And it's saved. 2-0 right now. Buenos Aires. McManus with the free kick. McManus sends it in. Blocked. Shot is blocked. It's sent all the way back out. Now they're attacking. Over to Rubin. Back to Criminal, but it's intercepted. Now Schwartzwalder on the attack. Schwartzwalder tries to find Power. Power gets the ball back. Over to the Bizzotti. Over to Madison. Madison's shot is saved. It's going to be a corner for Schwartzwalder. Madison with it. Sends it in. Headed, and it's saved. It's going to be another corner. Clark over this corner. Sends it in. Headed around. Rivers comes down with it. Rivers sends it up. Headed down O'Leary with it. But it's blocked. Summers has it for Schwartzwalder. Summers tries to get around their gun. They can't. Häkkinen. Over to Clark. Clark over to Madison. Madison up to Power. Back to Madison. Madison over to Häkkinen, and that shot is wide. Or it's offside, sorry. Free kick for McManus at the top of the box, sent in, and it's wide. Some danger in that. We're in the 42nd minute. Criminal with the throw in over to Rivers. Back to Criminal, back to Gunnarsson. Over to McManus. Over to Duck. Duck beats their player's shot, and it's saved. Big save by Williams. Williams. So it'll be a corner. Rubin over this. Rubin sends it out to Santori. Santori with the touch. Back to Rubin. Back to Santori. But it was offsides. Rubin was offsides. 2 minutes of stoppage time. Free kick from McManus. Sends it in, and it's blocked by Williams. So we're going to get a corner. 46th minute. 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time. Rubin's probably going to send it out to Santori. Nope. Sends it into the box. Headed out. It's going to be a goal kick. 47th minute. We're at halftime. This is what we're looking at on the halftime stats. XG in favor of CA Buenos Aires 1.71 to 1.16. Possession in favor of Schwartzwalder 62% to 38%. 10 shots for Schwartzwalder, 13 for CA Buenos Aires, 6 on target, 4 for Schwartzwalder. And we'll have the second half. Kickoff for CA Buenos Aires. Over to Rubin. Back to Lorenzo. Back to Rubin. And we're going to have a corner. Rubin over top of it. Sends it out to Santori. It's shot in, and it's saved. Williams comes down with it. Free kick for Schwartzwalder. Madison sends it in. Headed out. Häkkinen's going to get to it. Häkkinen sends it into Power. Power over to Maggie Sinclair, and they score. Maggie Sinclair with their first goal of the season makes it 2-1. Schwartzwalder cuts the lead in half. off of a great pass by Power to find Sinclair, who just buries it. Scott back to Rivers. Rivers over to Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson up to Scott. Scott over to O'Leary. O'Leary over to Rubin. Over to Duck. O'Leary gets stepped into. Rubin tries to come up with it, but Schwartzwalder settles it. Duck heads it over to Santori. Santori finds O'Leary off the post. It was offsides. Criminal throws it in over to Santori. Clark comes away with it. Wings the house, sends it up. Gunnarsson gets the loose ball. Over to Rivers. Back to Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson up to McManus. Over to O'Leary. Rivers sends it up. O'Leary over. Finds Rubin. And Rubin buries it. Second goal of the season. Third goal for Buenos Aires. Makes it 3-1. Thing of beauty. Rivers finds O'Leary. O'Leary sends it to Scott. One touch over to Rubin. And Rubin buries it. Three to 1 Buenos Aires. '70th minute. Criminal sends it into Scott. Scott over to Criminal. Criminal tries to find O'Leary, but Kilgannon takes it away. Santori gets the loose ball over to Rubin. They find Scott. And it's going to be a goal kick for Schwartzwalder. Rubin with the corner sends it in over to Santori. Santori's shot is saved by Williams. $15 minutes left in the 90. Xavier over to Kilgannon. Up to Rivers, over to Santori. Santori's shot is saved. It's offsides. Rubin sends it up to Santori. Santori over to O'Leary. O'Leary's shot is over. It's a goal kick for Schwartzwalder. '85th minute. Power over to Pizzola. Over to Madison. Back to Xavier. Xavier over to Kilgannon. Kilgannon up to Clark. Clark over to Wings Zahau. Zahau, oh, that's stepped over into by Gunnarsson. Häkkinen tries to keep it, and they do. Häkkinen sends it into the box. Duck heads it, but Power comes down with it. Power over to Sinclair, and Sinclair gets their second of the game, second of the season. It's 3-2 with 4 minutes left in the 90. Häkkinen sends it all the way over to into the box. It's headed out by Duck, but Power comes down with it and just finds Sinclair again alone in the box, and it's an easy goal. We're going to get 2 minutes of stoppage time. We're already through 1 minute of that. Corner for Schwartzwalder. Clark. Schwartzwalder looking to tie it up here. Clark sends it in. Headed out, but Wings the House and come down with it. Over to Xavier, up to Pizzati. Rubin steps into that, but Pizzati is able to put it into the corner, headed around, and Satoshi comes down with it. That could have been the last attack that Schwartzwalder gets. Satoshi holding on to it. It's not in a hurry. Sends it out deep. And that's full time. 3-2. Buenos Aires has on to win it. Schwartzwalder storms back in the second half, but not enough to get it to draw. So Buenos Aires wins it. 24 shots to 12, 11 on target to 6. 3.4 to 2, I think, on the XG. We'll be going to the AC Romana Shayla Cosmico game next. And we're kicking off. AC Romana, 2-2-1 in their last 5. Shayla Cosmico, 3-1-1 in their last 5. Shayla sitting in second in the Major Division 2. Romana sitting right behind them. Shayla Warwick with it, and that gets sent. Warwick was offsides. This is Warwick's 99th appearance. Or 100th appearance. Ottawa 2% with it. Ottawa 2% over to Emerson. Emerson shot is blocked. It's going to be out for a corner. Shayla Cosmico is going to take this corner. Warwick with it. Warwick over top of it. Warwick sends it in. Up to the top, but it's intercepted. Showman running. Showman keeps it. Sends it into the box. Nobody's really there except Sang, and they can't come down with it. Ball's headed back to Warwick, and that ends that attack. Emerson with it over to Terrell. Terrell over to Adelaide for 2%. Back to Okoro. Okoro to 2%. Back to Okoro. Back to Adelaide. Back to Okoro. Back to 2%. 2% running. Circles back around over to Mizukana. Mizukana looking to cross it. Sends it in, and it's over the bar. Goal kick. (23rd minute). Adelaide 2% with the throw-in over to Emerson. Back to 2%. Sent into the box. Headed down. Warwick with it. Warwick's shot is over to Terrell. That shot is off the crossbar, and it's Emerson gets another shot that's blocked for the corner. Warwick with it. Warwick sends it in. Headed back out, but Warwick comes down with it over to Okoro, who finds Chevalier. Chevalier. Capybara Chevalier turns it around. Sends it back out. Bad pass. Dobrik comes with it. Sanji sends it back to Rivieras. And nothing comes of that attack. Been mostly Shayla Cosmico so far in this game. But we are flying through this half. We are already in the 40th minute. Adelaide 2% with it. And loses the ball. AC Romano with it. Sanji over to Van Eidenhoven. Hoppity with it. Hoppity trying to beat Warwick. Sends it over to Van Eidenhoven. Over to Hoppity. Hoppity up to the top of the box. Shot is blocked. AC Romana keeping it. Stausch. And nothing comes of that. Now we're in the 44th minute. 1 minute of stoppage time. We're going straight into halftime. What a quick first half. Only one shot on target that whole half. Nothing really going on in this game. And kickoff. AC Romano with it. Sends it over to Flip. Flip over to Hoppity. Hoppity. Running. Hoppity sent off of Warwick. It's going to be a throw-in for AC Romana. Hoppity with the throw-in. Rivieras on the other side with the throw-in over to Francis. Back to Rivieras. Over to Francis. Head stepped into. Showman comes down with it. Showman with a shot, and it's saved by Mobeck. Still only one shot on target so far. Hoppity up to Showman. Hoppity loses the ball to Mizukana. Over to Emerson. Over to Terrell. Terrell tries to find Moreau, and that shot is saved. So it'll be a corner for Shaylock Cosmico. I like 2%, so I'll take this corner. Sends it up to Terrell, but Van Heidenhoven cuts it off. Showman with it. And nothing comes of that. Goal kick, Kronos. Over to Leckensteiner. Bad pass. Emerson takes it away. And Rigby Emerson scores the first goal off of a very bad pass back to the keeper. Emerson was lurking and just takes it. Leckensteiner up to Francis. Francis sends it back, and it's just a mishit. And Emerson's there to pick it off and put it in the net. Nothing Kronos can do. 1-0. Shaylock Cosmico. I like 2% up to Emerson. Emerson kicks it deep. Chevalier. Okoro. I like 2%. Back to Okoro. Mobeck. Up to Moretti. Moretti. To Okoro. Over to Adelaide, 2%. Running. Emerson gets to it. Emerson's shot is saved by Kronos. Big save by Kronos. Emerson was bearing down on him. Adelaide, 2% with the corner. Sends it in. Headed out. I like 2%. That ball's out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Shaylock Cosmico. We're in the 60th minute. Showman with a chance sends it into the box, and it is saved by Mobeck. Over to Terrell. Terrell over to Work. Work with it. Sends it up. Back to Work. Sends it in the box. Headed. And Benjamin Munro with the 5th goal of the season for him. Makes it 2-0. They're going to look at this for offsides. AC Romano's pleading their case. No goal. Offsides. Monroe just started their run just a tad bit early, as you can see. AC Romano can breathe from that. Over to Francis, back to the goalkeeper. That was dangerous last time. Chevalier with it. Over to Work. Warwick with it. Warwick sends it into Terrell. Terrell with it. Shot across, and Emerson buries it for the second of the game. They're going to check offsides again. That one looked a little bit better, but I don't know. Well, I'm not a ref. It's no goal. Offsides. They're saying Monroe is offsides, I believe. Yeah, Monroe is offsides. Emerson was not. That's a rough call because I don't think Monroe had much to do with that goal. But they're saying that he impeded it. And, you know, I can say, okay. 75th minute. Up to Leckensteiner. Leckensteiner over to Flip. Flip up to Hoppity. Hoppity turns around. Sends it all the way back. Kronos up to Leckensteiner. Over to Francis. Up. Heavy touch. Shaylock gets it. Adelaide 2% with it. Looking to beat Dobrick. Dobrick marking. Over to Emerson. All the way back to Okoro. Okoro up to Muzkana. Muzkana looking for the pass in. Sends it over. Stepped into. Muzkana comes back with it. Adelaide 2% over to Chevalier. And that is scored by Benjamin Munro. Pass in Monroe taps it into the goal from Capybara Chevalier. And Benjamin Monroe was onside that time. Check this play out again. Gets it over to Emerson, over to Adelaide, 2%. Chevalier puts it, and it hits off of Monroe's arm. Chevalier rockets it off of Monroe's arm and in. 79th minute. Corner for Warwick of Shayla Cosmico. Sent in. Headed back out. Warwick gets to it. Warwick over to Chevalier. Chevalier shot. Goal. Capybara Chevalier scores their third of the season off of a beautiful rocket shot from the top of the box. 3-0. Shayla Cosmico running away with it now. 10 minutes left. The first shot was blocked. Chevalier came back with it and then put it back on net and beats Kronos. Okoro with it. Over to Chevalier. Monroe's will get to the loose ball, and it's sent wide. Goal kick. Kronos well out of the net on that one. 86-minute free kick. Dobrik over to Francis. Francis shot is saved by Mobek. Okoro over to Chevalier. Chevalier over to Terrell. Over to Warwick. Warwick sends it into the box. Shot is saved. Kaneki can't bury it. 2 minutes of stoppage time. We may fly through that. 92nd minute of the 2 minutes of stoppage time sent in. Headed out. Warwick gets to it. We're probably looking at the final whistle here, and there it is. Shayla Cosmico wins 3-0. Player of the match is on B. Capybara Chevalier with a goal. 8.3 on the match rating. Shayla Cosmico was just nothing but class in that game. And they defeated AC Romana 3-0. We'll be getting into the last game here in a second. Tokyo SC is going to take on CF Cataluna. CF Cataluna's been running away with Division 2 this whole time, sitting at 6-1-0, 19 points. Tokyo SC 2-0-5 with 6 points. And here we are, Tokyo SC 1-0-4 in their last 5. CF Cataluna's 5-0-0 in their last 5. Shayla Cosmicos actually sitting at the top based off of their win earlier. But a win here puts Cataluna back up. Tokyo FC in their black and pinks. Cataluna's in their yellow and reds. Duck with it. Over to Francis. Ramirez. Sorry. DeGuerin takes that one away. And we're away. Trella sends it over to Ahmed, over to DeGuerin, back to Fry. Fry goes to the top of the box, but it's stepped into by Lee. Over to Greer, up to No Face. No Face sends it over. Trella takes it away. Over to Bonito, over to Fry. Jenkins with it. Jenkins looking to beat their player, sends it in front, and that shot is wide. Goal kick. Throw in. DeGuerin of Cataluna. DeGuerin sends it in for Kako. Furcaco's shot is saved. DeGuerin over top of this one. Sends it in. Headed out. DeGuerin gets it back. Lee clears it. Throw in. Jenkins over to Furcaco. Back to Jenkins. Jenkins sends it in. Headed over the bar. I have so many spam calls coming through today. It's quite annoying. Duck with it. Duck back to Crying. Over to Duck. Over to Adamo. Satoshi or Salazar gets to it. Jenkins with it. Jenkins finds Salazar. Stepped into by Adamo. Tokyo SC with the ball now. Up to Elish. Elish running. Elish making the run. Furcaco marking. Sent in. No face with the header. And it's over the bar. Throw in for Tokyo SC. Eilish sends it into Ramos. Sends it into the box. It's headed out. Ahmed comes away with it. Sends it over to DeGuerin. Sends it up to Fry. Fry in the box. Fry back to DeGuerin. Over to Jenkins. Jenkins scores. Zoe Jenkins with their first goal of the season off a great pass from DeGuerin. 1-0. CF Catalunas. DeGuerin over to Fry. Fry goes back to DeGuerin. DeGuerin sees Jenkins in the box, and Jenkins just buries it. 1-0. 21st minute goal. Free kick. Allman sends it in. Over to Fry. Fry back. Ahmed back to Salazar. Salazar up to Detrella. Detrella keeping the ball, sends it over to Salazar. Back to Detrella. Over to Jenkins. Jenkins back to Detrella. Back to Smith. Over to Ahmed. Just passing it around, looking for the opening. Ahmed for the DeGuerin. DeGuerin's heavy touch. Primerius takes it away. Smith with it. Finds DeGuerin. DeGuerin sends it in the box. Kick and scored by Alejandro Furcaco. Their 5th of the season off of a great pass in by DeGuerin. Second assist for DeGuerin as well. 2-0 CF Catalunas. Crying tipped it, but just not enough to stop it. CF Catalunya showing why they're at the top of the table in Division 2. Bonito. Marking Ronflex with it. Over to Ramos. Finds Yoon. Yoon turns it around over to Eilish. Eilish with it. Finds Lee, and that shot is well over the bar. Over to Duck. Duck back to Primerius. Over to Lee. Headed down. Face with it. Yoon. Over to Ronflex. Ronflex to Ramos. Ramos shot off the post. Loose ball still. Jenkins trying to get to it. It's going to be a throw in for Tokyo deep in their own end. Deep in their offensive zone. Eilish sends it in. Knocked out. Eilish comes down with it. Fry steps into the interception. Smith with it. Up to Brooks or Bonito. Fry over to DeGuerin. DeGuerin with 2 assists so far. Sends it in the box, and they find Alejandro Furcaco for their 6th of the season, 2nd of the game, to make it 3-0. Catalunya. Catalunya just showing what they are in this first half, and they are a great football team. Led by DeGuerin, who's able to pick out anybody in the box and get those goals. .33rd, Greer with the corner. Sends it in. Bounced around. Ahmed sends it out. Yoon gets to it. Tokyo FC looking to respond to these 3 goals. Ramirez sends it in, and it's saved. Slothenberg. Kick deep. Bouncing around. Over to Salazar. Salazar loses it, but Smith gets to it. Jenkins almost comes with that, but Eilish does a great tackle. Now Eilish with it. Eilish running. Over to Yoon. Yoon beats their player. Shot, and it's wide. Goal kick. 34 minutes played so far. Ahmed with it. Ahmed over to Furcako. Up to Bonito. Bonito shot. Goal. If they were onside, Yoga Bonito's going to have another goal. But I think they may be offsides. Offsides. My eye is getting better. Corner for Tokyo. Greer over top of it. Sends it in. Headed over the bar. Goal kick. We're now in the 40th minute. 3 minutes of stoppage time. We're still going. And we may just go straight into halftime. And it looks like, nope, it's going to be a corner for Tokyo. 3rd minute of the 3-minute stoppage time. That's headed wide. Goal kick, and that might send us to halftime. And it does. 3-0, Cataluna at half. 4 shots on target to 1 for Cataluna. 2.33 on the XG compared to 0.98. Tokyo FC can take away that they have had majority of possession, 53% to 47%. Kick off. Cataluna sends it to Detrella. Over to Smith. Up to Jenkins. Jenkins with it. Heavy touch. Ramos comes away with it. '50th minute. Greer attacking for Tokyo SC. Tries to beat Ahmed, but Degaron takes it away. Over to Furcako. Back to Jenkins. Jenkins up to Smith. Smith with it. Smith over to Degaron. Degaron finds Fry, who sends it over to Bonito. I'm going to say that one's offsides too. That one looked even worse offsides than it was. I think he was offsides before Fry even got it. They were, yeah. Still 3-0, Cataluna. Bonito has scored 2 goals, but both of them have been called off by offsides. Just running a little bit too early. Yellow card for Degaron. Headed out. Kawasaki's getting to it. Kawasaki. Over to Ahmed. Ahmed. Over to Kawasaki. Kawasaki over to Jenkins. Jenkins with it. Jenkins sends it in, and Furcako is there for their hat trick, I believe. That was a beautiful goal by Furcako off of a great pass from Jenkins. It's going to be 4-0, Cataluna. Jenkins with it. Jenkins goes all the way into the box, finds Furcako, and Furcako buries it for the hat trick. $4-0. 25 minutes left in this game. Throw in for Jenkins. Jenkins over to Smith, back to Jenkins. Jenkins over to Smith, over to Ahmed. Ahmed back to Detrella. Over to Kawasaki. Ramirez over to Degaron. Kawasaki back to Unman, over to Detrella. Back to Ahmed. Ahmed sends it up to Furcako. Furcako over to Degaron. Furcako back with it, and Furcako gets the 4th of the game. They have doubled their season goals in one game with 4 today. And that is another assist to Degaron, too. over to Salazar, over to Ahmed, up to Jenkins, up to Smith, Salazar. Stepped into by Ademo, but Ademo with it, over to Smith, and shot over the bar. Dageron sends it in. Crying comes down with it. 5-0 Cataluna. Salazar sends it up. It's taken away, but Jenkins gets the interception back off that. That shot is saved. Eilish over to Lee. Lee back to Duck. Duck back to Damu. Damu up to Lee. Lee up to Face. Face up to Greer. Greer on the run now. Greer. Shot saved. Corner for Tokyo FC. Sent up to Yoon. Over to Greer. Greer sends it in. Slothenberg comes down with it. 15 minutes left. Up to Slothenberg. Over to Daytrella. Over to Yoon. Yoon over to Ronflex. Up to Eilish. Eilish over to Ronflex. Ronflex sends it in. Headed down. Greer's shot is off the top of the post. Top of the crossbar, but it doesn't go in. Furcako comes away with it. That was a great opportunity for Tokyo FC or SC, and it just does not go in. Offsides. Sent all the way over to Greer. Greer running. Greer sends it into Face. Face shot is saved by Slothenberg. 7 minutes left. Two minutes of extra time. Eilish with it. Sends it over to Demo. It's all over. It's all done except for the whining, I guess. Over to Bonito. Bonito's shot's wide. It's blocked, so it's going to be a corner. Dageron on the corner. Sends it in. Headed out. Eilish heads it even further out. Ahmed comes down with it. 92nd minute. Greer sends it in for Tokyo SC, and Jenkins comes down with it. We'll be looking for the final whistle here. Jenkins running up the sideline, and that's full time. CF Cataluna 5. Tokyo SC none. And without a doubt, Alejandro Furcako, 4 goals, player of the match. Shouldn't have been questioned at all. We'll get into the final scores of the other games and everything else. Thoughts on this match day, if I'm going to be honest. If you weren't playing in it, it wasn't really that great of a match day. Hate to say that, but none of the games really seemed that great. Buenos Aires won 3-2 over Schwarzwalder. It's probably the best game of the day. Shayla Cosmico won 3-0 over AC Romana, and CF Cataluna won 5-0 over Tokyo. Cataluna stays in first. 7 wins, 1 draw, 22 points. Shayla Cosmico stays right behind them, 19 points. 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. We went away from that really quick. Buenos Aires stays in third, or moves up to third. 12 points. 4, 0-4. -5 on the goal differential. Athletic AC Romana moves down into fourth. 2-3-3, -1, 9 points. Tokyo SC stays in fifth, 2-0-6, -8, 6 points. And Schwarzwalder stays in last, still looking for their first win. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you. This is SSL. Good night.